Hi, and thanks for stopping by. I'd like to take this time to talk about some products that I trust. They're sort of the first things that I actually reviewed here, and they are Trayvax wallets, belts, and keychains. And I've been using them pretty consistently for the past maybe 10 years. I'm not sure. It's 2015, 8 years. Okay, fair enough. But without any further ado, I'd like to show you some true and tested items that I have consistently used over that time period. Okay, so what you're looking at here, starting from the left, is a Trayvax cinch belt. It is a great belt. I've been using it forever. Can't find anything that adequately replaces it for me. The next item would be the original Trayvax element with the Trayvax key lanyard and carabiner. Next to it would be the revised version of the same wallet with a clip keychain and carabiner. And then next to it on the far right would be the Trayvax Ascent. I found myself going with this wallet more often than not. It's probably the one I would say would be my favorite and the most utilitarian and useful. At the bottom left we have the Trayvax Summit. This is the perfect EDC wallet. It goes in your keys, you can carry it standalone in your pocket. It's simplistic, does what you need it to do, and it's adjustable. Next to that would be the Trayvax Renegade. It's more or less a pocket purse, but it's great for when you have small items like screws, nuts, receipts, business cards, medication, really anything you wanted to be secure. It's a pretty good option. I usually keep this on a keychain. I keep it on a keychain wallet in my pocket or in my backpack. But it's pretty much a daily carry item. So the first item I'd really like to touch on is the Trayvax Ascent. It is probably my go-to wallet for most occasions. I've owned this for going on 6.5 years, and I've used it the most consistently since I picked it up. I typically just carry it by itself, not clipped or attached to anything. Nice, solid, small form factor. Holds maybe 4 debit cards, your insurance cards, ID, really everything you need to carry with you. There's a back slot here where you can slide a couple bills, which I do sometimes. Very solid, nothing is going to come out of there. There's a really handy nylon strap to gain access to the cards you are carrying, which I find very useful. Just generally very solid constructed, not much to go wrong. However, I will say that you want to keep this away from your phone screen or generally anything fragile. Learned that one a couple times, scratch stuff up. But just all in all, it is a very useful piece of kit. And if I had to pick one wallet from their lineup to purchase, this would be my pick. I think they're still going for around $69, if I'm not mistaken. They have a lifetime heirloom warranty, so I think it's 65 years, but I doubt you would have to take it up on that. They patina wonderfully. I mean, they're just tanks. The second wallet I'd like to touch on is the Summit. I have beat the hell out of this thing. It is useful as can be. Very solid construction. I mean, it's no frills, just perfect EDC, very minimalist. You can expand it up to about maybe 8 cards. I typically would have this on a keychain with a business and personal debit and ID, my insurance card, just everything that I have to have on me. And it would be on my car and truck keys, just kind of attached so I wouldn't have to worry about dropping them, but always be with me because I had a real long stint of forgetting things. And I noticed if I connected them to my car keys, I was less likely to forget. So that was more or less really how I came to find Trayvax, was searching for a solution to that problem. And from there, this was kind of the crux of the solution. Because for a long time, I drove a vehicle for my employer, and I had a separate set of keys with a fuel card for them, And this stayed on those keys. I mean, the whole time it was perfect. Never had any issues. It just worked in that role. And from there, and I've transitioned to different career opportunities. It's found a new home. I mean, if I feel like I'm more forgetful, I might actually run that configuration with my EDC. And it's just, I mean, there's not much to talk about really in construction. It's just holds your cards. You have a little money clip in the back for a few bills. It has an attachment point. The not adjustable nylon strap there, which is a little booger to adjust, but I don't complain. It's just simple, which is a good thing. But if I had to recommend a wall other than the Ascent, this would be the one I would recommend. All right, now to touch on Trayvax's more fancy approach at the wallet. This was one of their initial wallets after their original. It is the Element. This is the revised version of the Element. Very just, I wouldn't call it basic, but it's very simple. I mean, in all of its ways, it is just leather and steel. It has an attachment point, a bottle opener, and a buckle clasp. Just, I mean, not much to it. You can get to your cards through this front window there. The tension of the strap holds both ends of the cards. Those aren't going to go anywhere. They're in there. They're going to stay in there. You also have the option to open it, and you have a money clip right here. You can also, keep other things back there, potentially a key or just anything small and thin enough to fit. And the attachment point has a bottle opener on it. It's different than the original. As you can see, the bottle opener is on the inside, I believe, which would require opening the wallet to access. But both of these wallets just patina beautifully, and the only reason they revised the wallet, I guess, would be to increase, user friendliness. But also, this one had a nasty habit of tearing your cards up, and they'd slide in and out. I'm not sure if it's from the buckle or clasp or what, but it has been revised with this, design change, and they did a fairly good job. I adopted this as my first Trayvax purchase, and I found myself carrying it for a while, but I always gravitated back to the Ascent. This is bulky. I mean, it works in some configurations, but it's heavy. So the Summit always seemed, if I was going to carry it in the attachment, layout, I always preferred this because of how much lighter it was, because you don't want this big heavy thing dangling from your ignition, opposed to this. This is so thin and minimalist. I can't find the perfect use case for the Element. It's a good wallet, very strong, dependable, just not for my use case. It's a conversation piece. It's very unique, but it's just not for me personally. I found myself using both the Ascent and the Summit for different reasons, like for my everyday carry, in my pocket, you'll find this, and you'll usually find this on the keys to my work truck. It's kind of a good mix. I just find myself kind of shying away from these. I do carry them occasionally, just I guess when I want to change things up. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. It's just I prefer this wallet here. This is my just go-to. It is just so sleek, easy to use. I mean, basic, but at the same time sturdy. This is just a behemoth. Arguably more sturdy than this, because this is kind of soft and has a little give to it, and it's much bulkier if you compare the two in width. This thing's just good. They're not the same. They're very varied use cases here, but for me personally, I think this is the EDC king of wallets for me. But you really can't beat this thing for $21. I used the crap out of it for a long time. They're just not the same product, even though they are both very slim and minimalist EDC wallets. They did do a good job at fixing any issues in the older product. It's just a different wallet, but I will always kind of like this one just because it's neat and it's kind of the genesis of their company. And I do appreciate their products, and I've used many of them. Now I will say that, of course, I bought into all of their attachments. They had their carabiners for a long time, which I'll say are bulky and really, I can't seem to find a good use for them. I mean, you're supposed to be able to clip your wallets in, but it's just too big to really, I mean, it's not comfortable in your pocket. I mean, I just never really got behind those, but I mean, of course I bought them and I bought the wallet, so I didn't know. I would say if you had to get one, this wrist lanyard has probably been the most useful. What I usually would do would be throw a key ring on this end. I'm trying to see if I have a key ring to show, but it would allow you to have your wallet, say, attached to here, and then you could have another clip and clip it to your belt, which was nice before I really started carrying a wallet chain. But you know, since I've done that, I haven't had that need. It is nice on, say, the Summit. If you want to just carry the Summit by itself, it's good for keys too. I mean, it's just whatever. You know, they have their basic ones, and a little party piece they added is there's a bottle opener on all of, well, most of them, not all of them. I believe the bottle opener is on their standard keychain. No, just a standard keychain, I guess. Didn't know. All right. The next item I would like to showcase would be Trayvax Renegade zipper wallet. I wanted this for a long time, never picked it up, just thought it looked cool and useful. I primarily use this as kind of a secondary item. I do carry it every day, but it kind of resides in the backpack a lot of the time, or I'll clip it to my wallet chain. I operate a business, so I like to use it to hold like receipts, business cards. Just nice to keep things kind of tucked away. I mean, you can throw some aspirin in there. Just really, it's like a man purse, I guess. Just really whatever you don't want to lose. Like when I was working on my truck the other day, I threw a fastener in there for something that I had been working on just so I wouldn't lose it. It's very simplistic. I mean, really solid, robust design. Not much to go wrong. There is like an internal divider in there. It's really not organized. Of course, I keep a zip tie in there if I can dig it out. It's fairly spacious. I mean, it can hold a bit. Like here is the Apple Magic Mouse. I bet it would hold that in a pinch. Yes, I mean, really just whatever you want to cram in there. But it's fairly watertight. I mean, it's not waterproof. But one key feature I do appreciate is the zipper goes into the fastener. And let's just say, you know, I'm carrying it on a belt or clip. I have this little alligator clip there. Throw it right in my wallet, and it's secure. It's not going to go anywhere. I'm not going to drop it. Everything's safe. Which brings me to the next item. The most used Trayvax item, which you would not expect necessarily, but the one that I use the most would be their belt. Now I'm wearing their belt right now. It's called the Cinch. It's a nylon webbing belt, and it's very easy to adjust. Just pull and slide. I haven't found anything that necessarily competes with it. It's uncomfortable as hell when you're sitting because it digs into you, but man, it just works. It's lightweight. Keeps its setting. I've owned it for I think 7.5 years, and it just keeps on ticking. I've tried replacing it due to its lack of comfort, but for a work or utility belt, it's good stuff. I mean, it could be better, but it's super duper simplistic. I mean, there's nothing to go wrong. It's starting to show its age, but for as much as I've used it and worked in it, it is a solid item. I don't know if it could be improved on. It is just so simplistic. Here's a close-up look of the belt and how it operates. So it is just a basic, I believe this is, I think it's aluminum. can't tell, it's lightweight, but it's just pretty much a harness buckle. And you just slide through. Just get it set where you need it, and then slide through that side, and you're done. I mean, it is, and I guess that holds the tension there against itself. You can see where it's kind of braided over time, but it still functions flawlessly. There's nothing to go wrong there. I mean, it is just a solid unit.